Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sarah Labrat, and in today's video we are looking at what my Q3 goals are, as well as recapping a bit of what I accomplished during Q2. So right off the bat, I do want to go back and recap what some of my goals for 2020 were, because we are at right about halfway through the year. Even though it feels like it's been like 3 or 4 years, we are about 6 months into 2020 and it has 6 months left. So I thought that this would be a great opportunity for me to sit down and look at what I've accomplished thus far during 2020, what I accomplished in Q2, what I want to accomplish in Q3, and a little bit of how my 2020 goals have changed for the rest of the year. Going into 2020, I wanted to choose a word to help me set my intentions for the year. One of my friends does this every year and I really liked that idea, so I decided to do it this year. And the word that I decided on was opportunity. And so far, with everything that's happened in 2020, that has presented a lot of opportunities to really dive into this word opportunity and see just like what I can achieve. The first goal that I had for 2020 was to get a job, because I graduated 6 months ago in December. You can see my little cap and tassel right here. And for those of you that have been following my channel, you know that I actually got a job in June, so this past month, and I started it at the beginning of June, and so I got a job. So it's a big check mark for that goal because it happened. Finding a job with quarantine was very difficult, and I know that it was very difficult for a lot of people, but I was able to get a job, and the fact that I was able to get a job during quarantine, I'm sure is gonna look really good on future resumes. My second goal for 2020 was to work on leaving my house or apartment every day. I've done a pretty good job at that. It was a lot easier doing that in Minnesota when I would go for walks every day with my mom, but now that I'm working, that gets me out of the house. And then on weekends, thus far, I've either gone for a walk to like get out of my apartment, or I've gone to Dallas to see friends. And so I've been seeing people and I've been getting out of my apartment, which is absolutely fantastic, because I was worried that being in my new apartment, I would like not do that as well. But so far, so good, and I'm really happy with that. Now for my writing goal for 2020. My writing goal for 2020 was to get my project DE, which is a high fantasy told from 3 points of view, from 250,000 words to 350,000 words in 6 months. So by the end of Q2, my goal was to be at that 350,000 word mark. And the reason for that is that I was writing this series from like front to end. Like I just wanted to get the entire story on paper before I tried to figure out where the first book fell. But that goal changed very, very quickly in, I want to say late January is how fast it happened, is when I figured out that I was actually writing the ending of the first book. And then so I changed that goal. And so I've actually been ahead of schedule, kind of. I've been ahead of my plan. The plan changed, but like in the big picture terms, I'm actually ahead of schedule for my project DE because I've already done the second draft. Also, my goals for 2020, I wanted to read 12 books. I know that this is not a lot, but the fact that I've been in school for so many years and having to read books for school and whatnot has really like damaged my want to read outside of schoolwork. But I'll touch on what I'm doing right now in a minute. Another one of my 2020 goals was to do a Spartan Sprint, which got thoroughly messed up when they canceled a lot of their races due to everything that's been happening. And then my last goal for 2020 was to post 60 YouTube videos for the year, because at that point I was only posting once a week. I would say every Monday and sometimes Thursday, but now it's every Monday and Thursday because I post twice a week, but y'all know that. And I've started doing live streams, and so realistically I'm actually putting up like closer to 3 videos a week if you include those live streams. So I have absolutely no worries about hitting 60 videos for 2020 because I'm gonna like blow past that super easily. So then for Q2, I made a video about my Q2 goals and about how a lot of my goals had changed, or more like evolved from what they had been when I set them in like late December, early January. I still wanted to get a job. I still wanted to leave my apartment every day. And then I acknowledged that my writing goal for my project DE was to get to 350,000 words, and the project changed to wanting to work on the second draft in Q2. I feel like I've been postponing a few things. My dreams are big and I've been putting them on the back burner. I think I also wanted to get it to betas, but it's not ready for that yet, but I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do with that in just a second. In Q2, I still wanted to read 12 books. I still wanted to do a Spartan race, and I still wanted to hit 60 videos on YouTube, but again, I was posting twice a week at that point, so it wasn't going to be a problem. So now that we've recapped Q2, I want to talk a little bit about what Q3 holds. And my goals for Q3 and kind of the rest of the year, I got a job, which is a huge check mark. It's amazing, it's absolutely fantastic, but that is no longer on my 2020 goals really because I've already done it. So it's a giant check mark for that one. I'm still working on leaving my apartment every day, whether it's going for a walk, going to hang out with someone, going to work, whatever, but it's going very, very well. Not too worried about that one. My Q2 writing goals though, for my project DE are a little bit interesting because I did just finish the second draft of my project DE. I decided in my Camp Nano July video that I was gonna start something new because I have not started something new in like probably 2 or 3 years now. Like a new book project. I've started stuff for school, but I have not gotten to start a new book project in like several years. So I decided that I'm gonna start a new book for Camp Nano July, and then when July is over and August swings back around, I will jump into the third draft of my project DE, which is very exciting and I think gives it a really nice break between drafts 2 and 3, and I think it's gonna be really healthy for the story and my storytelling. And then after I do draft 3, which will hopefully be in August, maybe a little bit into September, as soon as draft 3 is done, I think it's time for betas. And so I've started drafting a list of people that I know that might be willing to beta read for me, and I'm very excited about that. So my writing goals for Q3 are that I want to start drafting my project, my brand new baby project that I'm working on for July's Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm gonna do 30,000 words in that. That's the goal. If you wanna know more about the story and project, click up here. And the video link will be left in the description if you wanna jump over to that video after this one. But then after drafting this new project in July, in August, I'm going to go back and tackle the third draft of my project DE. And then hopefully in September, so towards the end of Q3, I will be starting to send project DE out to betas. It's such a cool idea. It's such a cool idea. I still want to read 12 books. We're halfway through the year and I have not finished a book yet. I've started several, but I have not yet finished a book this year. Well, I have, but it was for work, and it was much more of a business book than it was like a book for pleasure or fun, and so I'm not gonna count it, but I have started taking the books that I'm reading to lunch with me when I go get lunch at work. I'll just like have it open next to whatever I'm eating, and I'll just like flip through the pages and spend like 45 minutes reading. And that's been a really nice break, not even with like my goal for like trying to plow through 12 books. Plow through, I understand, is very strongly worded for some of you because I know a lot of you guys probably read a lot more than I do. I am really trying to get back into it. I used to be able to just like swallow up books and like read a book or a book series in like 3 days or a week. Like it's something I wish I could get back to, and I'm working towards that. But I'm currently kind of reading 3 books. I did just decide to narrow it down to 1 book to read that one. And that book is the Hunger Games prequel, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And so I'm making pretty decent progress in that, considering that I'm doing that like a couple chapters at a time when I'm like at lunch. But so far I have really enjoyed that break in my workday and will likely continue that habit. So that's exciting. I am making progress on reading 12 books. My original goal was to read about a book a month, but now I'm kind of getting down to the point where I need to read about 2 books a month, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm just going to try to enjoy reading, and while hitting 12 books read in 2020 would be fantastic, I do know that I need to be nice to myself in that, and so my goal is to just try to enjoy reading and to hopefully do a book a month until the end of the year. If I hit 12 books, great, but if I hit 6 books, I'll be so happy with that. Now for my exercise goal, which was to do a Spartan race. I actually signed up yesterday for one. They had to cancel a lot of their races for great reason, absolutely good reason. But they rescheduled a few and set it up in such a way that you could sign up for one of their races, and then they will reevaluate the race 15 days before it happens. And so if something with the pandemic spikes or something and they cancel a race, you get all your money back. But at that 15-day mark before the race, if they are still hosting it and you still want to do it, then you pay the rest of the price. So that seems like a perfect way for me to do this. And so I signed up yesterday and I'm really, really excited. The race will be in October, which is like 4 months from now. It's just under 4 months from now, which is really fantastic. And I think that gives me a lot of time to finish training. I say finish training, I also mean start training, but basically it gives me a lot of time to train for that race. And I'm very excited about the possibility of finally doing one. After admiring the race and the whole layout of the race for like several years, like upwards of 6 or 7 years is how long I've wanted to do one, but there have been like complications in the past, and now I'm finally at a point where like if I want to do one, I can. So I'm really excited about that. And my posting 60 YouTube videos in 2020. This one is kind of funny to me now that I'm doing like almost 3 videos a week. I say almost because I'm posting twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays with edited videos like this one, but I've been doing live streams. So that works out to be about 3 videos a week if you include the live stream. But even if you don't include the live stream, I will hit 60 videos this year, no problem. Alright, that's it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I want to know from you guys down in the comments below what some of your goals are for Q3, how your goals have changed since the beginning of the year, and maybe even what you want to do by the end of 2020. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And if you have not already, please subscribe because I post 2 videos a week on Mondays and Thursdays and occasionally do live streams. And so, I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye! There's a dog outside.